let's get to it. Oh, there he is. Looking better every day. Not me, the scar. Oh goodness. Yep. It's one of those low energy days. Gotta gin up the energy. Make yourself excited. But last recording was so late that now it's like back to back attempt, draining my reserves of small talk. Um, we do have PT at the secondary location once again, I assume because they didn't get the construction done in front of their place. It was not even their construction. The city decided to do the sidewalk, so definitely don't blame them. But just brutal. The other location, there's a lot of weird little things. It's the same company, but it's a very different design. It's in a suite in an office building as opposed to just like a standard house, as I would put it in San Francisco. It's been converted to a business. Uh, it's on the fifth floor of a proper high rise in downtown San Francisco, as opposed to a walk in. I guess if you it's like a ground floor that you walk in, and you can get on an elevator and get up there. So it's not the worst place in the world for a PT, physical therapist, to be on the fifth floor because at least you can just ride an elevator up there. It was a really I've forgotten to even share the story with anyone. It's not much of a story, but right when I got there, I went to the big set of steps leading to the like obvious like front door of the place on California Street, and I'm like looking around. It has like one of those like a punch. I think it's sort of like a telephone, like a keypad that you're supposed to punch in and figure out how you get in the building or call someone to get buzzed in. And I'm like, this thing isn't working. It literally says on it that it's not initialized. And I'm like, is this broken? I see a little sign on the door that says, please use entrance on California. And I'm like, I'm on California. And I'm like, what is going on? And then my buddy's messing around with his car. They give me a ride, and he happens to look, and he's like, what are you still doing here? And I'm like, I can't get in. And he's like, there's a giant, like, open door over here. Maybe you can get in. And we go, we just basically go about 20 feet down the hill, and like, oh, you can get in here there's like a cone and a door just held open. So I was like, oh, okay. Go in, and there's a lady completely engaged in a phone call and reading a magazine and chewing bubblegum and doing her nails, like a caricature of a person that's manning a front desk. And she literally doesn't even bat an eye at me walking by. So I'm like, I guess I don't need to check in here. Then I go over and find the elevators, and there's a like a middle-aged gal and her young kid, maybe like 5 to 7 years old at the top, at the most, and figure they, from context, they're waiting for the elevator. So I go up and I kind of you just double check. It's like none of the lights that you press to call the elevator are lit up, and I'm like, So reach over and try to hit there's two columns with call buttons. And they have up and down call buttons. And I hit this call button, and it doesn't feel like it works. It's kind of doesn't really press. It doesn't feel like a button. It feels like it's got something in it. It's messed up. Then it's COVID town. Everybody's got their masks on, so I'm like, I don't really want to like kind of push past them, and because I'm like, that light's not on over by you either. Maybe this elevator's not working. Like, make a quick jaunt out and look around for the stairs. It's like, well, maybe I'll have to run up 5 flights of stairs to get to my PT. That'll be great. Let's like get leg day in before we even get to PT. I come back, and the lady has wandered around. I guess she maybe took a cue from my wandering around, like, maybe something's up here. And okay, good. I can go over, and I'm making my way over to the button. Now she's looking where I was looking, and I hit the button, and ding, the elevator. The call button hadn't been pressed, so the elevator opens up instantly. So now I'm holding the elevator and going like, "Hey," and they're over there looking for the stairs, looking for a different elevator, and I'm like, "No, the elevator's here. You walked away. Come on." And they finally, I don't know what it is. Maybe people are so used to there being like crazy people around that they don't want to look at me. But I'm like, no, you want to get in on this. Trust me. Uh-oh. Where's my weight go? Oh, I took it out to get ready. I'm too ready. I'm too prepared. I'm blanking on my next exercise. That's crazy. Why can't I remember? I've been doing it for days and days. I got my cheat sheet here. Oh, I guess I can get the cheat sheet on the website. I know I need to do the left and rights. I know I need to do the curls. I know I did the straight. Oh, right, duh. All the dumbbell things. I mean, I knew I needed the dumbbell, but I couldn't remember which one. Who's the dumbbell? So yeah, we got them on the elevator. On top of all that, elevators seem like the perfect death trap, right? You like have to stand like fairly close to someone in an enclosed space. So I jump on the elevator, and they were getting off on the next floor at least, so that was easy, like easy wait time. I guess if they were getting off so soon, I should have gone on first so they could just get on, get off instead of me getting off to let them out. I'm very conscious about the social distancing thing. I feel like people probably say it really, you don't have to, like when you're walking down the street, I get out of people's way, but I feel like I'm going to get run over by a car more than I'm going to get sick walking past someone. But the ones that bug me are like the kids get out of school, or like a neighbors run into each other after a long time, and they occupy like each one of them is like 6 feet apart from the other, and they set up like a big fence of people where you can't walk by, and you're like, oh, come on, you got to know you're blocking the road. You're blocking the road anyway, and then in a world where you're taking up a 6-foot radius globe of no contact, yeah, like, what are you doing? This reminds me, as I'm doing the left to right exercise, I was doing them with a 10 and 20 pounds worth of weight. Sometimes we had 10, and sometimes we had 2 10s, and that was like a proper challenge. Like, oh, good, this thing really weighs a lot. I feel like I'm getting some resistance, some proper resistance. Like, this is barely acknowledgeable as resistance when I'm doing this. This is a 4-pound curl. But with the 10-pound weight, I'm like, yeah, I can feel this, and I'll show you the motion I was doing, going like this, just rotating the wrist. But it'd be like I'd like doom, doom, doom. It was like a pattern I was following, and after I'd done about 20 of them, they're like, "Oh, don't bounce the weight. You might like pull the muscle or something." I'm like, oh yeah, fair. Like, oh, okay, that might happen. It's still not enough weight. I don't think I'm gonna like injure myself unless I do it like way too many times, like 100 times or something. But they have these signs that are like, keep calm and do what the physical therapist says or something. It's like the old British World War II variant on that sign. So I'm like, okay. I try to do what they say. I don't want to like argue with them so much. But yeah, we got to go back to that place tomorrow. And I think that place, as an office building being repurposed into a physical therapist's office, I think it has like more soundproofing and baffling in the ceiling, as they call it, and so it's very quiet. And for some reason, despite them being the same company, they don't play any music. At the other place, they'll have whatever, some pop music or some classic rock or something. And when I mean classic rock, I mean like 50s and 60s, like 50s rock, not even 60s. Well, whatever. They just have a playlist. It's like it feels like a classic day. This is literally what they said to me one day when I said, "You're listening to this?" You know, stuff I hadn't heard since my like parents would like bust out records and shit. I was like, "Wow, look at you guys, look at you gals. You know who the Weekend is, and you're playing Bobby Darin and shit." Well, that's not exactly right, but it gets to the heart of what I mean. All right. Well, I think we're already done. It's a fast video. I'm gonna go ahead and go on my walk, and hopefully Wednesday night we're gonna. It looks like we might put up an Eternal Darkness video. If you've never seen the video, we're a good choice. Turkle and I, Andy and I. If you've never seen it, because we lived through the era that the game was made. The game has insanity effects that we might, or in our case, senility effects uh, that apply like fake UI elements to the screen that they don't really exist anymore in TVs. Like TVs have like WebOS and like they're so fancy now, but back in the day they used to just have these like green lines for volume and stuff. So if you've never seen the game, it's a good. I recommend watching us play it because we can at least explain like what's going on. If you play it yourself, you might be like, "I'm supposed to think this is like my TV's going crazy." Like fuck you, my TV doesn't look anything like this anymore. So yeah, hopefully we'll get one of those recorded and put up. We'll see if we'll go through the whole game or if we just kind of play some of it. We're going to be running it on an emulator, so it should look a little nicer than the GameCube version, which the game was made for N64, and just development had it go so long that it landed on GameCube. So anything you can do to punch that game up so it doesn't look like GoldenEye, which is a great game, but it doesn't look so great anymore, yeah, it's probably worth their time. All right, guys, we'll see you then.